Alright, today we're going to do some work with box and whisker plots. We haven't talked a whole lot about this. We're going to create box and whisker plots and understand what the different parts of the box and whisker plot are representing today. So first of all, let's look at what a box and whisker plot is. If you look at the very last slide on your notes handout, this is what an example of a box and whisker. Actually, this is two box and whisker plots shown. Just like the title suggests, we have a box, and then we have the whiskers, the stems that reach out from the sides of the box. We're going to create these box and whisker plots today. Okay, so if you look back at the very first slide, they're giving us a data set. We don't really know much about the data set, but they're wanting us to create a box and whisker plot from this data set. I have kind of divvied this up already for you in this first example. When we are creating a box and whisker plot, we need to find 5 things. We call these 5 things the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary. There's 5 things that we are going to plot on our box and whisker plot that we have to know before we do it. So the very first thing that I want to find is the median. How do we find the median of a data set? That's it. We are going to line them up from least to greatest and then find the center number. So we know our median to be right there in the middle. What number would you consider our median to be? 32. It's not 31, it's not 33, right there in the middle, that would make it 32. Our median is 32. We also need to know our maximum and minimum value. That seems almost common sense. What would be the max value? 43 would be our max. And our minimum value would be? 23. Okay, we also need to identify the upper and lower quartile. I've already done this for you. I want you to think of your median as cutting your data set in 2. So we have our lower set and we have our upper set. To find the lower quartile, we're basically finding the median of the lower half of our data set. To find the upper quartile, we're finding the median of the upper set of data. All of that information is now available. We have our median, we have our max, we have our min, we have our lower quartile and our upper quartile. Those are the 5 things that we need to make our box and whisker plot. So, on our number line that we're been given, let's plot the numbers from 23 to 43. Here, I think I'm only going to write every other number. Go ahead and do this with me, guys. It does take a little practice to get used to using these box and whiskers. Excuse me. Okay, so once we have our box and whisker plot drawn, we're going to put dots at each of those 5 numbers that we said were important to be part of our graph. So our minimum is at 23, so we'll put a dot at 23. Our maximum is at 43, so we'll put a dot at 43. Our median is at 32, so we'll put a dot at 32. Our lower quartile is at 29. And our upper quartile is at 35. We want those 5 dots plotted on our graph because that's going to help us to create this box and whisker. The 3 middle dots are going to form a box. So draw a box. that dot that's in the middle, that's our median. And then we're going to draw out the whiskers on our box and whisker. And that's it. That's our box and whisker plot. In a box and whisker plot, this line here in the middle, this one right here, tells us right where the median is, of course. This box is representing where 50% of our data is. 50% of our points are between 29 and 35. And these whiskers here off the side are the lower 25 and the upper 25% of our data. Let's make another box and whisker. This time I'm giving you the data, and I haven't identified anything for you. So it says the amount of money spent in a cafeteria, in the cafeteria by 20 students is shown. Display the data in a box and whisker plot. So we have all this data. Let's start by organizing it. Let's put it in order from least to greatest. We're going to have to do that anyway. So how many ones do we have? 3. We have $1.50. How many $1.50s do we have? This one. $2. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. $2.50s we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many 30s do we have? 1, 350. And one of those. $4. 3 of those. Oh, there is. You're right. And this one. 4. And last but not least, we have 5. Alright, so let's find our median. Let's just cross off until we can get to that middle number. Cross off 1 for each side. Looks like we have 2 in the middle, right? So where's our median? 250? Is that what you got? 250?
Yeah. You got 360.
What's our minimum value? 1. Our max? 550. Okay, so again, we're finding the 5-number summary, so there's 5 things. What else do we need?
Lower and upper.
Yep, upper quartile and lower quartile. So remember, the upper quartile is basically the median of the upper set of data. So if this is our upper set of data, let's find the median. Really, it would be right there between 350 and 4, which is 375. And our lower quartile, do the same thing. Just finding the median here. Which would be 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so on our number line, we're going to need to include numbers from 1. 550 is our max. Let's go 1 to 6. And so on my number line, or right above my number line anyway, I'm going to plot those 5 points. We have our median, it says at 250. We have our minimum at 1. Our max at 550. Our upper quartile at 3.75. And our lower quartile at 2. Remember, our box is going to be formed around the middle 3 points.
Wait.
A question? No. We'll draw a line in the, not in the middle of our box, but through that middle point, representing our median. And then we'll draw the whiskers on the outside of our box. What percent of our data is this in the middle here? 50%. This is half of our data here. 25% on each whisker. So there's our box and whisker. This slide is just talking about an interquartile range. It says interquartile range, or sometimes called IQR, is the range of the middle half of the data and contains 50% of the data set. To find it, we're just going to take the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So if you look at this box and whisker plot, what is our interquartile range? Well, let's do upper quartile minus lower quartile. 3.75 minus 2. That's 1.75. So that will be what we call our interquartile range. Upper quartile minus lower quartile. This next slide is talking about an outlier. An outlier is any element of the set that is at least 1.5 interquartile ranges less than the lower quartile or greater than the upper quartile. The whisker representing the data is that the data is drawn from the box to the least or the greatest value is not an outlier. So what they're saying is 1 and 5.5, those are not outliers. If we have another point way over here somewhere, that could be an outlier. If it's 1.5 interquartile ranges, or interquartile range is 1.75, we take that times 1.5. It's more than that distance away from our upper quartile or our lower quartile is going to be considered an outlier. And I think it'll be obvious what our outlier is. It's going to be something that's far away from our data. Last one here. It says, as a project, a group of students measures the wait time before getting served in 2 fast food restaurants. A, how do the wait times compare at the 2 restaurants? Well, we have burger time, let's say BT, and we have Mr. Chicken. So, burger time, what do we say? What's our wait time? 1 to 8 minutes? How about Mr. Chicken?
2.5 to 6.
2.5 to 6 minutes. What was the shortest wait time at Mr. Chicken? 2.5 minutes. C, what is the interquartile range for burger time plot? Or the burger time plot. So interquartile range is upper quartile minus lower quartile. For the burger time, this one here, where's the upper quartile? 5 minus the lower quartile. 5 minus 2 is 3. Well, interquartile range is 3. D says identify any outliers in the data. This should be pretty obvious. What's the outlier? What? 8. This right here from Mr. Chicken. Say MC for Mr. Chicken, so we know this with that plot. Alright, so when we're doing a box and whisker plot, there's 5 things that we have to find in order to make a box and whisker. What's one thing?
Median.
The median, the middle number. What else?
Upper quartile.
Upper quartile and
Lower quartile.
lower quartile. What are the other 2 things?
Maximum and minimum.
Maximum and minimum. Those 5 things create a box and whisker. Alright, today's assignment is going to be on a handout about box and whisker plots.